You are tuned into the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 104 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I make beats. My hard drive is in full effect, ready for that smoke. Longevity has keyboard hands. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I see the chalice is locked and loaded with ice.
Yeah, ice.
Seems like
Cubes and orange drink.
Nice. Seems like
Soda
you're ready
pop.
to go. Good to see you as always, my friend.
For sure.
In the corner, fresh to death, rocking the stone that the elves gave Frodo in the Lord of the Rings, I think, Twin Towers. You know the joint that he pulled out when the spider came out in the canyon?
Yeah, is that what that is?
That's what that is.
The light of whatever.
Yeah, that's what he has on. Fresh to death as always, DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
The
Light of
memory.
Zar. What is it called?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Yeah,
You don't even know.
Well, it's the joint that made the spider go away. That's what you rocking. What's up, sir?
It's actually smoky quartz.
Oh,
I got this from Dominic Dorsey.
nice.
He makes nice things like these.
I ain't say it didn't look good.
I'm just telling you,
I was just telling you what I thought it was.
motherfucker.
All right. Boom.
We starting it out like
Starting
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. To my immediate left, the voice of Indianapolis, Mr. Wavy Light Skinned Girls Be Loving Me. Now he is doing a lot better. His conditioning has improved. Jay Moore is with us today. How are you, sir?
Doing well, doing very well.
Let me ask you about your conditioning.
Oh, shit.
So, do you use a leisure curl, or do you use the other creamy crack when you want to condition?
Actually, I'm juices and berries all day
Juices and
long.
berries.
Yeah, what I
Okay,
do
that's
for my-
kind of what
that's
I
what I do
figured.
for my conditioning.
That's what's up.
Do you pick them?
No, they already come prepackaged.
Oh, they just show up at the crib.
Yeah, pretty much.
Prepackaged conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to that violence we promoting out here on the screen in the back. It's all about that as well.
I mean, it is October. So,
It is October. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done.
I like that. Good
All right.
job, buddy. Don't do that long.
Sorry. It was just funny.
104.
Anybody see Halloween?
I have not.
Not yet. I'm trying to go see it this week, though.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He kills people.
Think so? Or you know
Spoiler
so?
alert.
Yeah, I
something
know,
like
right?
Spoiler alert.
Jamie Lee Curtis out here in these streets, though.
People
60s.
die.
Mhm.
I think she's late 50s, early 60s.
No,
And she got that thing on her from what I saw in the trailer.
What kind of thing you talking about?
Licensed. She's got that thing on
No, I
her.
thought you might have been trying to
Nah.
shoot your shot.
I
or
see what you're
something.
saying. I know somebody that said they still were going. I ain't gonna put him on blast, but
Just saying. Jamie Lee, she still look good.
Right now, right now.
You
now?
going
yeah.
right now?
Yeah, like she been on that Activia. She been eating that her
Wow.
yogurt, getting it in.
Yeah, she regular.
Yeah, exactly. A little
Okay.
Yeah,
probiotics.
she taking
keeping it-
bowel moments
Ex-
on
So
the
check-
reg.
Exactly.
So
So she still looks great. Shout
So-
out to Jamie Lee Curtis, fantastic actress and
Quotes.
good looking woman.
So
And
Jay,
the
what's
juices and
going-
berries are keeping her active.
Mm-hmm.
So she does Activia and juices and berry.
Probably does
Yeah.
yoga, whole nine.
Okay. Well,
Stays
she had that thing in the trailer. So
Moisturized.
looks
There was
pretty
like
good.
issues with her having a gun. Right?
What?
Weren't the conservatives upset?
I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
They said, "Oh, you guys are so anti-gun, but Jamie Lee Curtis here, who's a liberal, has a gun in a movie."
Yeah, well, she was trying to kill
Wow.
Jason. It was different.
Yeah,
Jason come to your crib.
Right.
Yeah.
A little different.
As we can see.
Jason does
no,
not.
that's
he,
that is Jason. You're right.
Yeah. That's
I'll
Jason.
take it back.
he comes
all
through
good.
the doors. You know, it could be locked. It don't matter.
Yeah. Jason is already about that life.
It doesn't
I'm
matter
shitty
what.
that he has some. What are those?
They're like
Edge
some-
clippers.
Edge clip. Yeah. Let's see.
Got what?
Has head trimmers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see who we can find in
That's
here.
his weapon of choice today.
Let's see.
Okay, let's.
Anyways.
Some people
Anyway.
are listening. They don't know what we're
Yeah,
talking
they don't
about.
know what we're
Yes.
talking about. They'll see. All right, so episode 104. Obviously, we are out of number suggestions. So if anybody wants to, shoot us a line with things that we can do, give us some options for the
No, you don't have to
100
do
numbers.
that. We're just gonna stop.
I'll take them. Forget them. I'll take them. Let me know if you got any suggestions. I'll
Yeah,
definitely
send
take a
them
look at
directly
them.
to, send them
Yeah.
directly to Major 7th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
The
to
rest
me.
of us have stopped caring.
Yeah, I still care. You know what? We were talking prior to coming on. We always talk about old sitcoms or movies or something like that. South
Always.
Central came up. I thought South Central was dope. You know what I'm saying? And Terry, I know we talked about it a little bit, you know what I'm saying, about South Central. And this is mad random, but South Central was cold. I don't think it gets enough light. You know what I'm saying?
It comes on Bounce TV all the time.
Does it? I don't.
Does it come on Bounce?
I don't know.
It does
I know
come
it
on
came on BET a lot.
Bounce, BET, TV One, whatever is a black platform, they will show BET stars, whatever.
Okay.
It comes on like at least once a week.
OG Bobby Johnson.
He out
right?
here getting that residual check.
Yeah.
OG Bobby Johnson, main character.
The actor's name is Glenn Plummer. I believe.
OBGYN Bobby Johnson.
I see you. I see you.
No, you
So
don't want that.
did he do a good job? You know what I'm saying, raising his son, even though, you know what I'm saying, he ran
We
into
don't
a
know
situation.
that. Right. That's when the movie ended. OG
Yeah.
Bobby Johnson, lightweight, could have been a shitty dad. We don't know.
He could have, man, but Deuce was there or here.
Deuce was strong in them streets.
Yeah, what stood out? What was one of your favorite parts in that movie, man? Just give me one. I know it's random. Give
Man,
me
it's
one.
so many, man. When he was in jail.
When he's in jail.
Yeah. The 15 box of smoke scene.
Oh, the Aryan cats.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, 15 box of smoke.
they was in there.
It's a man standing here, Buddha. Can't you see this a man? Yeah. Yeah, you know he's a man.
Okay, but see, the thing is, this movie came out
Don't
like...
find a way to hate on OG Bobby Johnson,
I find
man.
a way to hate on almost anything.
He can hate on it.
And the thing is, this movie came out like, it was like, oh, Boys in the Hood. And then like, it was like, hey, let's get a hood movie made. And
That's what they
we
said.
don't want to use the Bloods and Crips, even though this is set in L.A.
Yeah.
So we'll just call them the Deuce. And and it was based on a movie called, it was based on a book actually called Bloods. But it
I didn't know that.
It did basically, you know, because it cut out the whole Vietnam element. So there was a whole another story they could have went, but I guess they didn't have time for that. They wanted to focus on, you know, the little kid shooting Willie Manchester in the back.
Old man Willie Manchester. Old man Willie Manchester.
You know, and the thing is, I enjoy the movie almost for comedy purposes,
See,
not because
That's what it
actually
is.
good
It's
film.
a comedy.
So would both of y'all? So both of y'all would be people that would hate on Loco, right?
Hate on him.
No,
Not laugh at
I
him.
mean, he's a sherm head.
Nah, I think he had potential.
To
do what?
To do what?
You talking about him like he's a real person. Like, nah, Loco
man.
could have
Loco had
Loco could have got
potential.
his life together if
Loco-
he'd just got his GED or some shit.
Yeah,
Loco got OG Bobby Johnson locked up.
Nah,
Yeah, he did.
I just
The
nah.
hooker, he called the hooker to the car. Remember that part?
Loco
Yeah.
called the hooker to the
He
car.
called the hooker, and then he pulled out the
The
smack,
bag of rocks.
the smack.
Oh,
Wow.
No, yeah. Well,
Asked her to get down, and she said she was the police. Made him pull over.
Dang. I
which
out
was
here
which
standing
was
up for Loco.
honestly, if you think about it, that was pretty bold on her. She got in a car with 3 gangbangers,
True.
and just because she pulled her badge out, they all was like, "All right, we're gonna
Yeah,
pull over."
that's
like,
funny in itself.
broad daylight.
So
What do you think
so
about
that
it,
movie is that movie's a
I've
comedy.
got no comments.
I don't know, man. I think y'all should give, you know what I'm saying, Loco some more love, man. But
I like the name Loco.
oh my God.
Look, all I know is
All I know.
yeah, there was
Loco was that
the
dude.
dude. The dude,
All I have to
he
say
was
to
a
that
Muslim,
is-
but he. Shout out to Kawhi
Master
Leonard.
Troll. Master Troll.
Yeah. So yeah, South Central. What was there? There was there was a soundtrack for that movie too.
It was a TV series too.
Yeah.
completely different. Yeah, 'cause-
Way
yeah,
different.
Yeah,
way
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Way
I think
different.
the entire series is on YouTube now.
Was Tyrese in there?
No,
No.
it was
It was somebody else on the bus.
no.
I remember that's back when he
On
was.
the
No,
sitting
it was
on buses
the
and
dude who
shit.
played Old Dog.
Oh, dog.
Oh, it was him.
Lorenz Tate.
Lorenz
Let
Tate.
me say,
Yeah, Lorenz Tate, and then that was Jennifer Lopez's first TV show.
Wow.
Damn, was she
Yeah,
in there?
she was in there. Yeah,
That's
Interesting.
what's up.
All right.
and
Yeah, I'm
Clifton
gonna go watch
and
that.
Clifton Powell. Like me and my cousin, we got a name for him, but we're not gonna do that.
We ain't going to put him out there like that.
It's they call him that in Menace to Society.
Chauncey.
Yeah, but
Well,
there's something
there's something
preceding
else comes
Chauncey.
before that. Yeah, we ain't going to go down that road. Yeah, we ain't going to go down that road.
Oh, we can.
I know where you're going, though.
Yeah.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, so we go because we don't like to let too many maggots fly.
Don't come around here till about 9:30.
Hey, man.
You're not too scared to have the black man steal for your funky ass.
Hey. Ray got Ray got your boy out there selling drugs too.
Actually, no, he was not selling drugs for Ray Ray.
He was
Oh,
stealing
stealing cars.
car radios.
Stealing car
Stealing
stereos.
cars too. Y'all
Stealing
hate
car
on Loco,
radio.
man.
That's how J Rock got shot by
Don't do that.
Manchester.
That's how he got popped.
He's just a boy. What he say? I didn't know he was a boy. Man, that mug is crazy,
that
man. I
movie
gotta
was
go
terrible,
watch that mug.
It was.
The thing
Then he
is-
went to rehab and learned how to play ping pong.
Yeah. That nurse was just trying to show him a little bit of love.
Yeah.
Hey, man, shout out to South Central. Yeah, I'm about to go watch that mug.
You probably got it on Blu-ray at the crib.
Mike's
Shout out to
favorite
Blu-ray.
movie.
Yeah.
Don't
It
front.
ain't good as Boys in the Hood or Menace, but
No, not even close. That's it's almost a parody of those movies.
That
I'll
movie.
rock with that.
That movie is like the GoBots to the Transformer universe.
Wow, that bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
yes, exactly. That's
I'll
probably the
roll
best
with
way
that.
to put it.
Yeah, I roll with that. Did y'all? Well, I think we all saw Rondo give Chris Paul 2 piece and a biscuit.
That
You know what I'm
work.
saying? Yeah, he
Mhm.
gave him that work. I think everybody.
gave him a little spit too.
Here's my question about the spit thing. Do you think it was intentional? He got the mouthpiece in. When you zoom in, I mean, it just kind of was, you know what I'm saying, out there.
Sure,
but
looked like it.
you think it was intentional?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It could have been.
I don't know. At first, I didn't even see him spit on him.
They zoomed all the way in.
Yeah, they had to really slow it down. That's why I was wondering if like he was talking and maybe some spit came out. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
but
'Cause
after-
everybody's had a conversation with somebody and they accidentally spit on you
True.
and you be shitty.
True.
And that's why Chris Paul gave him the finger to the eye.
Mushed him.
Mushed him all in his eye. I mean,
Well, see,
you
that's how
can't
you
jam
get hit,
somebody.
though. Yeah, you had to put your finger in somebody's face.
Yeah, it was all in his eye socket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you gonna
did-
get swung on.
He hit him with that left immediately.
He did.
And then I think Chris got an uppercut in, if I remember. James Harden
Yeah.
wanted no part. He was walking
He was
the
on
other
the
way.
he was on the other side of the court.
And then Brandon Ingram comes in out of nowhere at 185 pounds, 6'9".
Because he started it.
He started by getting mad at that play about Harden.
And he was mad for no reason. Like,
I think Harden pushed him though.
No, he didn't.
He definitely pushed off.
no.
He definitely pushed off.
I mean, it was a basketball play.
No, he pushed off.
No,
They let Harden get away with robbery, bro.
Nah.
He pushed off.
Nope.
I would have been mad too.
I ain't going.
And he take 12 steps. I'm not going.
Yeah,
he pushed off.
He does take a few too many steps, but he didn't. It wasn't none that merited what he did. And then he was ready. He swole it all up on the ref.
That was stupid. That
Real
was
dumb.
stupid.
They should have gave him 10 games.
That was stupid.
Then Lance Stevenson, of all people, walked him away.
Man, how random is that? Weird
Then
is
he
that?
got loose, and he just wanted to swing on anybody. He ran to the crowd where they was fighting and just was like, "I'm just gonna stick my hand in here,
Dog.
Dawson style, and hopefully somebody
You just lost.
somebody
you,
catch this piece."
You might have lost somebody right there.
They know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And you know who was at
Shout out
the
the
game?
street. Who was
Ron
that?
Artest.
Ron Artest.
You know
was
who
like-
else was there?
Who?
Nipsey Hussle
He was ready too.
Yeah. You see
Nipsey
Nip? You saw
was-
Nip
Nipsey-
standing up? Yeah.
Man.
was in there.
That was a nice Magic Johnson throwback too, by the way, Nip.
But as far as NBA fights, like, was that even worth? I mean, remember when Chris Childs got with
Oh,
Kobe?
He got with Kobe.
Yeah,
That
pieced
two
him
piece
up
from
real nice.
Yeah.
That 2 piece from Lee's.
That's,
Shout out to
that's
Anderson.
really Chris Childs' only real highlight from the
It
league. If you think
is.
about it, you know.
at least
Yeah.
it's with Kobe.
There you go.
He was a
Make
matter of
somebody's
fact.
YouTube reel.
Yeah,
Kobe and Reggie Miller had a little joint that went over the scoreboard in the finals. I think it was game 2 in LA. You remember they got into it for a little bit and they had to be separated and it spilled over to the scoreboard. Pacers fan.
I remember that. I do
You don't
remember
remember
when Jordan and Reggie got into it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looked like a cat fight.
No, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Jordan started the fight and he put Reggie out of the game.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
kicked Reggie out.
Yeah.
Ain't that
Mike,
some
was,
shit?
Mike was scratching Reggie Miller. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't no punches. He just scratched him all in his face and they was like, yeah, we're going to kick Reggie out at home
Yeah,
at Market Square Arena. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, that was the Jordan era. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
we can't put Mike out.
True. Everybody did come to see Mike at that game.
that's
Somebody-
why it kills me how people always say they do this and that for LeBron. They always pick a player, and it's generally the best player in the league that generally is followed and gets preferential treatment, which I can't say is right,
Stars been getting
but
treated like
it's
that, though.
it's nothing new. You know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
I could dig that. Because
There
Mike
was-
used to get every call.
I mean, there was calls made because of Mike.
True.
And the thing is, Mike used to yell at the officials like he was talking to his kids.
Right.
Yeah.
He
Like-
pull that jersey up. You know what I'm saying?
Show
Try
him
to
that
cover
thing.
with try to cover.
Now Chris Paul don't care. Like they need to cut away from Chris Paul every time.
Yeah, he cuts
Like,
every other
yeah,
word.
Yeah, you know, he never needs to be mic'd up for a game.
He got it. He's insured. He's not tripping.
I see you. I see what you did there.
Cliff Paul got his back.
Yeah, I see what you
definitely.
did there. Lakers 0-3. Look pretty bad right now. So,
but you know, and I'm not a Laker or a stan for LeBron, but they have played 3 of the better teams in the Western Conference, and they've held their own. Like it's never been a blowout. It's not like they started the season off playing. I don't know who's whack. There's a
Sacramento Kings.
That's always the go-to. Sacramento Kings.
What they played
the
San Antonio,
Trailblazers, San Antonio, and Houston.
Those are all good teams.
Those are all playoff teams. Well, they were last year. I'm not sure about. You know, it's still early. You don't know.
LeBron got to hit them
free
throws, though, man. I'm a LeBron fan. He got to hit the free throws. No excuse for that.
No, there really isn't.
He hit that long 3. They was up 6. Got to hit the free throws, fam. Got to hit at least one.
Hit the motherfucking free throws.
Got to hit the free throws. So,
yeah. So
we'll see. Everybody in the world is watching to see them fail. So
don't be Shaq out here. I know you play for the Lakers, but
and is it me? This might be a weird observation, but does it seem like LeBron's uniform is like a size too small?
I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, I think he does that.
Yeah, I think it's on purpose.
All right.
They cut the shorts are shorter this year. If you notice, like you remember when Iverson them was playing, they had 𝐂𝐁𝐎𝐃𝐿𝐴 on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
𝐂𝐁𝐎𝐃𝐿𝐴. What is a 𝐂𝐿𝐴?
I ain't gonna even do that, man.
I don't know what that is.
They were longer shorts.
That's a 𝐂𝐿ACH?
Oh, no, man, I'm not
𝐂𝐿ACHs.
doing this. Man. No, man.
Oh.
No, I really want to know.
It's like a flared, longer pant.
Worn by
pant.
a woman.
I like the word pant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 𝐂𝐿ACH.
Yeah, that's what the shorts are like when Ivo, was at his.
Come here, you little bitch.
Okay, shout out to Iverson too. Don't do that, man.
Shout out to the 𝐂𝐿ACHs. All the women out there wearing 𝐂𝐿ACHs with their heels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And capris.
Living it up.
𝐂𝐿ACH capris.
Nothing wrong.
With one pant on.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Nothing wrong with a nice pant.
Yeah.
Master troll. All right. So shout out to Memphis. North, south, east, west. Beale Street, barbecue, all that adjacent. What I miss?
The county seat, unincorporated areas.
Thank you, sir. We don't want no smoke.
You don't want no smoke.
So
Not with Memphis, you don't.
this is an interesting topic that Longevity brought up. I figure we talk about this one.
Word.
2010 best debut albums from 2010 to now. There's a 2-part question. One, what would you guys consider, maybe some releases that stand out since then? And also, what do we actually, how do we define a debut album? So it's a debut album. If you're in a group, can you come out with your first solo project and that could be considered a debut album, even though you've had, like Little Brother, we'll use them as an example. They dropped The Listening and The Minstrel Show.
2001.
Then they start splitting up or whatever, Left Back, Get Back, all that. And then Fonte dropped Charities at Home?
Starts at Home.
Which was dope, by the way. So the question would be, and I guess we can get to the albums that came out. We can do that later or whatever. But my question is, would that be considered Fonte's debut album, even though we've known him for years from Little Brother?
I say no.
I know Lone heavy on the no side. I'm on the yes side. But I want to hear from the no side on this one because I think it's his debut album.
All right, so
I need you to tell me why it's not.
Oh, you want me to actually speak?
Yes,
on
sir.
Because we all know him. Like, I don't think it's a debut project simply for the fact that he's not really debuting anything other than he's just rapping. He's been rapping. He's been rapping with Little Brother for years before that, and he was probably the main feature in Little Brother for a very long time.
Ain't no probably.
Well, I'm just saying. And so the people that knew Fonte, this is not a debut. This is just more of the same. So that's the way I feel.
It's a bonus.
It's like a bonus, I mean, just like I'll make the same argument with Outkast. If Andre 3000 puts out an album, is it going to be his debut album?
It's definitely his debut solo album, man.
Not really.
I say no.
technically,
and I say no.
Technically,
so that's just me.
Love Below and
that's what I would say.
Speaker
As well.
Box
That was
were
an
supposed to be solos.
That was an
and they put them
Outkast
together.
album. When you go to the stores, that's an Outkast album.
Yeah, but
So,
but are we going specifically off of the technicality of them having a group name, or are we going off the fact that their group is them? That's who they are. Like,
no, I'm simply looking at it from the standpoint, to your point about the technicality. Little Brother and Fonte are two different things. They are. Little Brother is this. Vontae's solo project, his first release is that. So even though we know him, his debut solo project is that first album. To me.
Why?
Well, technically,
Because it's his first release as a solo artist.
But why?
Well, do we
But
classify the Foreign Exchange?
that's what I was about to
We
say.
got the Foreign
because-
Exchange.
Foreign Exchange is different from Little Brother.
Because
You
I'm
got
the
three
only
different
one that
entities.
says anything on the Foreign Exchange.
But at
though.
the same time, like I consider those to be three completely separate debuts. Him in a
Thank you.
group,
That's what I
him
said.
in another group, and him as a solo artist.
Right, but it's not his debut.
His debut on Charity Starts at Home is most certainly his debut.
As a solo artist.
Look, you can be wrong, Jay Moore.
I mean, I have no problem. I'll be loud
This is
wrong
not-
if need be.
This is not that hard to me. It's his debut release as a solo artist. It is.
Okay, when you put it like that, as a solo artist,
Yeah.
with nothing else you put out, but it's not the debut to this artist.
Okay,
So if the question is,
Are we?
who has
this
the
is how we're
best?
first introduced to him. Okay,
I guess it
Yeah.
depends on the comment. But if you say, but if the question comes up, what's your favorite debut project from 2010 on? Are you gonna say Fonte Charity Starts at Home?
I'll say that. I'll say that's one of them because,
That's what
as far as I'm concerned, like what your artistic expression might, just like, okay, there's a difference between, longevity. Perhaps if to do a solo record as opposed to longevity with the section leaders, as opposed to
Those are the entities that I'm talking about.
as
Hinks
opposed
Jones.
So I guess I'm speaking
as
from
opposed
that.
to Hinks Jones.
I'm
yes.
speaking from that angle though. That's why I feel this way, because my debut, if I put out an album this year, but it wasn't my debut. It was just a project that I put out. My debut was a long time ago with Hinks Jones.
Mhm.
That's just the way I feel. So like, it may be people's introduction to me as a solo artist, so I can understand that aspect. But as a debut of who I am, no, that to me that devalues everything that I've done. If somebody classes me as, okay, this is my debut, period.
Okay, well,
Because
what if the artistic direction is completely different? Like,
from
then-
my standpoint, the artistic direction on every project is different.
okay, but say, okay, you are somebody like, say you're in a rap group and then your debut as a solo artist is a rock project.
Well,
That's good. That
I
That's your
guess
debut.
so. So would you say that? Would you say when didn't Lil Wayne put out like a punk rock album or something?
He put out a rock album, yeah.
Okay.
I never
So
really
would that
heard
be a
in my life.
debut?
because it's still under the banner of Lil Wayne. Just because it's a different artistic expression
seems like
under the same name.
I understand the point. It just seems
Right.
like a formality that doesn't make. I don't know. I don't agree
So did
with it.
Tupac
I mean,
have
I'm not
more
saying
than
he
one?
wrong. That's-
Did Tupac have more than one since his last album was called Machiavelli? Did he
Is that the debut
as
as Machiavelli?
Technically, but it Thug Life, it was his debut as a group. Well, no, it wasn't because he was digital
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah.
I guess it just seems like a weird concept to me. I don't disagree with what you guys are saying.
I think it's a weird way
I
of saying the
challenge it.
same thing.
Yeah.
But say Charity Starts at Home was nominated for a Grammy that year, which it wasn't, which it should have been.
definitely should have
Although
been.
his
It-
new
it-
album did get nominated.
Oh,
Good.
okay, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
Good.
pretty dope.
but if it was nominated as under the Best New Artist category,
Mm-hmm.
I would see that as legit.
I think the thing that I'm really trying to peel back here is the labeling aspect of things in general, and so you kind of talked about it when we talk about Grammys.
Yep.
Now, does anybody here? Here's an interesting thing. We still talk about the Grammys, even though to me the Grammys are irrelevant.
Yeah.
So when we talk about debuts and we talk about this, we're talking about this under this like structured system of, well, this is this person's debut project or this group's debut or this debut. That's kind of like the historical way we're speaking on it realistically.
Right.
Even though it's not, if we're fans of them, it's not these artists' debuts really because they're a part of other entities. It's like saying Robert Glasper's debut was last year. It's like, oh, he was brand new. No, he wasn't. You know,
Right.
like, so it's kind of misleading. You know, I guess is the way that I look at it. So if we talk about the Grammys, it's an interesting conversation to me. I'll let you guys speak on the debut. Does anybody else have any more comments on the debut?
Other than the Machiavelli joint, did you have anything else on this before I guess he goes to something else?
Nah.
Nah.
No, I just think
because we're
saying the same thing.
saying
I
the
think-
same thing.
I
and
think Big Boy's Sir Lucius Left Foot, the Chico Dusty joint, that's his debut solo album to me. Like
So
that's
let's go back
his
to
first solo album outside of Outkast.
Let's go back to what you
Okay.
initially started with. So you're saying, are you asking what we think are the best albums from 2010 to now?
Yeah, that was a part. That's like the second
as
part.
a debut artist.
Like as a debut, like when the first joint they put out. Because I think Lone, before we went on, he brought up a good point about Kendrick, right? Because to the masses, I guess his debut solo studio album would be what? Good Kid, Mad City?
Right.
But we've had the conversation about, well, a Section 80 mixtape. It's listed on Wikipedia as an album.
And doesn't matter anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's a whole different conversation. Does that even matter? So he dropped.
It does when we talk about Grammys and stuff like that.
But to the average, like just to the consumer, what was the series he dropped prior to Section 80? I'm having a brain freeze.
I don't remember, but he had a
prior to Section 80 was Overly Dedicated.
Overly
Yes.
Dedicated,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think people looked at that as, I guess, a mixtape or whatever. But if you ask the average person, I think they're going to say his debut album was Good Kid, Mad City.
That's the one that the Grammy recognized.
Exactly.
Right, and that goes to his point about the system and everything.
That goes back to like SZA was nominated last year as a brand new artist.
Okay,
SZA has been out for about 6 years.
right.
She's been signed to the TDE imprint, and her last album, which is more popular, is actually her second album on TDE. So, if you're talking Grammy standards,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, they are going to consider it like that. But who decides ultimately when someone's debut project is, other
Right.
than the artist themselves?
Exactly.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not mad at that. It's just, to me, even as somebody that followed Little Brother from, I'm talking about the day one, through all the way up and through then, I just always, in my mind, looked at the Charity album as Fonte's debut solo album. Like, I've always looked at it that way.
We were just talking about conditioning.
I see what you did there. But you're right. That is a valid point when you talk about the criteria. When we talk about Grammys versus.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Right, but
the
I'm
Grammys
just,
have a whole
saying that's a
different set
good
of
point to bring
rules.
up. Like
True.
that's a good point to bring up. I'm not mad at that. I don't know. It can go either way. It's subjective, I guess. How you see it.
Honestly, I can't tell you what my favorite album is of the last 8 years.
It's
Well,
hard for me too, especially from like a debut. Like
That were dope. Are there any? Even
I
if
would
it's
say,
not a favorite, just
like,
something that stood out to you.
So
as a
we
debut.
could answer this multiple ways because one argument you could say, well, Section 80 is a great debut, right?
Yep.
Or Good Kid, Mad City, or When Charity Starts at Home.
Yep.
If that's the way you want to lean. But what about Chance's Acid Rap?
I looked at that as
Because that's like his first thing, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Whether it was a mixtape or an album, that was really his debut.
right.
I think Section 80 was really Kendrick's debut.
Kendrick's debut.
Mhm.
I mean, however you want to classify it, I mean, it was.
I got put on to him, 𝐀𝐁 Corinthians.
And I'm speaking on
Section
this,
80.
and I'm saying this based upon your guys' argument
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, I got put up on him on Section 80. That's when I actually was like, all right, because somebody played me 𝐀𝐁 Corinthians. But I was always in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is a mixtape because I looked at Good Kid as his official, studio album,
Right.
with the air quotes
yeah.
debut. You know what I'm saying? If I was thinking 2010 to now, that would be one of the albums that would stand out to me. It ain't got to be the best or one of my favorite, but
So, can you think of any artists? What about to the other side? Can you think of any artists that have came out in the last 8 years that have really impressed you? Maybe not debut album is
But just in
necessarily the
general?
right criteria. Is there somebody in the last 8 years?
who's come out.
I mean, there's lots of artists, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joey
Saba.
Badass.
Saba would be a good one.
Yeah.
Joey-
Saba for me.
I think
Joey was a little before that, but it was right
Okay.
around 2010,
Okay.
9.
I think
10.
ASAP Rocky.
They were all around the same time.
Yeah, I like his when he first hit the scene.
Yeah.
I like what he's done, but to me, musically, it seems like he's missing a little bit lately,
I
in
agree.
my opinion. But he's still out there bubbling and
He's in his fashion
influencing,
bag
yeah.
too, though, right? Like I
Don't
mean,
it-
you know how they are now.
It's
Like
like a-
everybody's.
It's like a bar, right?
I see what you did there.
Well, you
Don't
actually-
ask 𝗀𝗲 about it.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Don't do that.
But what about what Action Bronson? Did he come out around that time, or was he early?
I think Action Bronson will fall under this
Under that
time
school.
frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Because, he had the issue with the sounding like ghosts and all that stuff. And
It's Mick Jenkins.
that's
Definitely.
a good one. That's a good one.
I mean,
Jenkins is a good
I
one.
can't really.
It's hard to really kind of say that. I mean,
There's a lot of people that
Gambino.
came out in the last 8 years. Definitely.
Gambino.
yeah.
He would probably be towards the top for me in terms of just being impressed. Overall being impressed.
Right.
Well, he's a 3-trick pony though.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he has his hands in a lot of stuff, so that kind of
reminds me of
gives him
Jamie
the
Foxx,
edge.
man, in terms of his talent level. Reminds me of Jamie Foxx.
Creative wise, I think he's probably one of the best creatives out right now.
No question. No question.
Overall.
Yeah. A period. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. He definitely will fall in that because I think his first EP came out in 2011. So, he falls within the criteria there. I'm trying to think if there's any other. When did I got on the Tyler the Creator late? When was I think he dropped what was it?
All
Cherry
these guys,
Bomb?
the Odd Future and all them. It was like
Earl
late
Sweatshirt and all that.
2008, 9, 10-ish.
Oh, so they might be outside of.
It's right around
What
that
about
time
2
frame.
Chainz though? That's another person
His
you can
rebrand?
consider.
So who is this
being
rebrand?
outside of
day,
Tity
yeah.
Boi.
Right.
Okay. Ooh, that's good. That's a good one.
Look, I honestly paid no attention to any of Tity Boi's music, so
Don't do that.
Play a circle.
okay.
I see you,
okay.
Long.
Duffel Bag Boy, I can't front on that.
But that was
They
a
had
group.
song- yeah, they had,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They had a song with Fonte that was pretty good.
I hate
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Player Circle has some heat now. Don't get it twisted.
Mm.
Player Circle has some heat when he was Tity
I didn't
Boi.
really check him out like that.
They had a couple jams now.
But I can't say him reinventing himself
Uh-huh.
as 2 Chainz.
Okay. Under the 2010
Definitely
criteria.
elevated his career.
Okay.
And
I'm not mad at that.
And it gave every rapper above the age of 35 some real hope.
Some real hope.
Yeah.
Start
Star
over
Wars.
today.
Yeah, 2 Chainz was in
exactly.
college and,
Collagen.
hooping.
Yeah.
I'm talking about game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I'm trying to, I feel like I don't want to leave anybody out, but
You're
those are,
definitely leaving
Oh,
people
we're leaving.
out.
So
I mean,
that's why we can't answer the
Yeah,
question.
it's
it's
kinda
kind
hard.
of
I mean,
hard, especially
those
on
are the
the
ones
fly.
that stood out
I
to
mean,
me.
we
Plus,
Jake-
you're talking to two people who were like majorly sharing independent artists for a very
Yeah.
long time. So
I mean,
Like,
J.
I'm
Cole.
having
When,
like
when was J. Cole?
J. Cole and Kendrick are around the same
around the
time,
same
and
time.
they actually were dropping stuff before
yeah,
2010 because I was listening to
2007.
J. Cole and Kendrick like in like 07,
Well, Friday Night
08.
Lights was. I remember that as the mixtape.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was in like 08.
Okay.
Kendrick came out in 2007.
No, actually, it may
I
have been a
think.
little bit after that, but there was a Cole mixtape out. He was dropping them consistently,
Mm-hmm.
like before he got signed to The Rock, and those were all before 2010. So I don't know. There's a lot of artists out there that have dropped dope stuff, have influenced the sound that's going on right now. I mean, Migos.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter how you want to cut it, they're very influential to the sound.
No question.
Mhm.
No question about it. Yeah.
Who else?
They are.
I don't know, man. It's
Well, see, because there's a lot of people who've come and gone. They've made a huge impact, and then we don't hear from them.
right.
Yeah.
You know, Migos pretty much on a commercial level have at least been consistent.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly came and went.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me
But
ask
he
you-
really did. He was really big.
Yeah.
and
Oh
then
no,
he
I
kinda,
remember
you know,
during the time when the Casbah was still popping. We had like because he had stuff with Waka, and
Yeah,
you know he was going hard, and like there was stuff that people knew. And honestly, until this beef resurfaced, I had forgotten all about other than when I saw him performing at the Cavaliers victory parade.
Championship,
I'd almost
yeah.
forgotten about Machine Gun Kelly.
I had to up until that point. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Eminem saved him.
No doubt about it.
Got him a check or two.
Hopefully he cast out on that boy.
Yeah.
I had a question about the Migos
Mm-hmm.
with
the Amigos.
with the era, with this oversaturation era, and people just doing like random joint projects and putting stuff out, and you know the Migos like Offset did the joint, had like 19 joints on it.
Quavo.
Quavo, I'm sorry, and I'm starting to think it's like streaming music is what I call it because you're just putting out joints. Like, do we think that is their run about to end? Is there going to be another shift?
I mean,
Because they're starting to put stuff out now at a rate where it's like it's not special anymore. It's just we just throwing stuff out. Yachty put something out.
there's always going to be a shift.
A new wave.
Yeah, there's always going to be a new wave. There's always going to be a new way of actually releasing content.
Sure.
Pusha T actually touched on that in his interview with Joe Budden.
Yeah.
He pretty much had brought up He actually apologized for saying it was cheating.
Because I disagree with the cheating part.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
he
cheating.
apologized for saying it was cheating. And what he was talking about is people dropping albums that are 24 songs long, and it's pretty much like 1 and 2 minute songs.
Filler material.
And you're just filling up the album.
Yeah.
Whereas you have the people that are dropping bars and are more into the content that you're hearing are dropping longer songs but shorter albums. And they are also talking about when's the last time you heard somebody have a third verse on the song.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You know, so
That's the error.
That's a good point.
The thing is, that might be for people to only do songs that are a couple of verses. Might be it's because I'm coming from someone who's hears a lot of music in the club. Whether it be at Coaches where we tend to go underground or classic hip hop, or when I'm at Tiki Bob's when we're doing pretty much the mainstream what's popping right now. I can't remember, like, there are songs that I've heard over and over, and I've never heard the third verse anyway.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Even when I listen to classic records, I think it was Eazy-E's Boys in the Hood. I forgot how long that record is because I'm used to only hearing the first and maybe the second verse.
Joints used to be 450.
You know what
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
just think about how long "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J is. That's
facts.
like 5 verses of just him rapping. But I think honestly, to fit people's attention span, even though the Vine's not a thing anymore, the Vine, YouTube,
It's adapted.
honestly, they're
Stories.
adapting. To tell, unless you're trying to tell us, because think about the reaction. Unless you're a really great storyteller, like to that Lil Wayne Kendrick song, which I hated. That song was too long for a whole bunch of reasons. So
Don't start, man.
so
Don't start.
to me, it's not. It's an adjustment to the times. And the thing is, you got to remember, if you go back to a certain time, if you listen to Motown songs, none of those songs were longer than 3 minutes.
right.
Facts.
The 4 and 4.5 minute song, that's something that didn't come along till later. I mean, when you're talking about album oriented rock, and like you could go into a whole different thing with
Have
that.
a bridge.
Yeah, there was a time.
breakdown,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was a time. Now then, they got too crazy where songs were like 11 and 15 minutes,
Yes.
where a whole album might have 4 songs on it.
I'm cool on that.
But
I'm
I don't
cool.
want any artist of today trying
Frank
to pull that
Ocean.
off.
Forgot about Frank Ocean.
I'm good with Frank
2010
Ocean.
and above.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But
He was Odd Future Camp too, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Reason why I thought about that real quick is because his song Pyramid is real long.
Okay.
Because it kind of like he has like a beginning part, then it kind of transitions and goes into the other part of Pyramid.
Yeah, because you think about those Isaac Hayes records, it might be 5, 6 records on each
Right.
on full length albums.
Definitely.
So
Even with
Parliament.
like jazz, even with some of the classic like jazz joints, you know what I'm saying? When you think about it, some of those joints as it got later in the 70s, they started doing those extended plays where you had records that was like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
those
Bitches
are like-
Brew and those.
I
types of
think
joints.
I think
different
those
era.
are an exception. And
I
what
thought
mean
those
by
were
that,
cool though because they were instrumentals.
But the reason why I'm saying that is because those are more instrumentation. So the instruments are
Yep.
the ones talking to you.
Facts.
So they can take you on a journey through all that instrumentation. Whereas with a song, like a written song where somebody's singing or rapping or whatever, that's kind of getting the point across quicker rather than taking you on this musical journey.
I don't want a 9-minute Quavo song.
Right.
Yeah, it's
That's just me, though. I mean,
know,
somebody
that's
might
just
somebody
the-
might be
me.
waiting for a 9-minute
Nah,
Quavo
I'm
song. But I'm
cool.
just saying, honestly, for the era that we're in and the artists who are popping right now, honestly, they might need to max out at 2 verses.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
oversaturation. to
It's
me.
well, those are different types of. Those are songs made for consumption of pop music.
Yep.
Mhm.
Versus, jazz. I mean, there was a time when jazz was
Pop music.
pop music,
Mhm.
but not quite in the same. Wasn't the same type of era. So
I was having a conversation with a coworker who brought something to my attention that, and I don't know, this is not a verified source or anything like that. It's just a conversation. And he was telling me about, he heard that there's a chance the Grammy, to Lone's point, we were talking about the Grammys. The criteria might change in terms of how they categorize, best rap album, best R&B, best pop. Like Drake's album, for example, if you had a certain percentage of singing and crooning on your album, if it was over a certain amount, it would take your album into a different category, pull you from hip hop.
Oh, they gonna use that.
To me, in my opinion, as the grumpy old man or whatever, I think that shit is dope. Like, let's get all of the filler shit that's in the hip hop category out and get it where, I'm not gonna say where it's supposed to be, but somewhere else.
Well, I can G for that because there's a lot of people that like to classify what they do as not hip hop and as not rapping.
But they're
and we've talked about
culture.
exactly.
Right.
We've talked about that a few times and how I disagree with what they're saying, because everything about your music says hip hop. It doesn't matter if you put a little spin on your voice a little bit or you added some extra auto tune to it. At the end of the day, it's still hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So be it. Let them find their own niche and win no awards.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be people that actually are doing what they're claiming
that's
that they're doing.
Point. That's the point.
That's really going to show them. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole way they break this down, like, who's going to be over it? Because sometimes with the American Music Awards that just passed a few weeks ago, they wound up giving like 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐃 or whatever. I can't call him X. I can't call him X because that's DMX.
Tentacion.
Well,
extension.
Extension.
Just say extension.
That's what Boosie said.
He wound up winning, I believe, like best
new artist.
best R&B.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he won in the best R&B. He beat out SZA in the best. I was like,
nah.
How did they determine that should be even in that particular category? Like, so sometimes I understand. Like, I think it's a good idea to make sure. Okay, if you're going to win for the hip hop, let's make sure you're actually rhyming over a beat as opposed to, half and half singing or more than 75% singing.
I think we're just at the point we have to define that, maybe. I guess.
I mean, God bless the dead, but like the Lock said, dead rappers get better promotion.
True.
So that has a lot to do with why he won that award, because if he was still alive, I don't think he would have won it.
I don't know if I agree with that though.
Because the American Music Awards, at least you can say, okay, this is not based on, for lack of a better term, artistic merit. It's based on airplay, now streaming, and sales. Exactly. They combine all those things together. So it doesn't matter if like, I remember when Kanye West got all mad because he didn't win one year. It's not because they're not recognizing your artistry. It's just because your numbers didn't beat the person who won. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when I see Extension win best R&B album, that means I feel like somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
Yeah. I think the drop the ball concept is happening more than we think. I get what you're saying about, the Locks line. I think that's legit. But
well, it's because
something in my gut makes me think that may have happened anyway, just because there is such a blurry line now as to what's actually rap.
Well, because after he died, everybody rushed to Spotify or Tidal or whatever, and they said, "Well, who is this kid who just died?" That's what happened.
So all the numbers.
So
the
numbers.
Like
spiked.
Mac Miller,
yeah. All his albums jumped back, and so honestly,
he doubled his Instagram numbers in like a week from the time he died, and he already had like 3 million,
3 or 4 million. Yeah.
So. And it's just like when the American Music Awards came around the next year after Michael Jackson died. He wound up winning several awards because
Thriller was back in the top 100
because it's based on airplay and sales. So technically, if all of a sudden everybody just starts buying some 20-year-old record and streaming this, like, it could potentially win Album of the Year.
Yeah,
that's the American Music Awards. Now the Grammys are supposed to be about recognizing artistry. It's not supposed to be about sales. It's that's how you get a Steely Dan that wins out of nowhere.
Good
but
call.
At the same time, I feel like because only a few people sell now, I feel like that's the only reason Taylor Swift has 2 Record of the Year awards. Because they were like, oh, we got, and that I feel like that's when sometimes it's the most recognizable, and that's why they give Adele. Not that she's not a great singer and I don't recognize her artistry, but like if Adele puts out a record, you might as well not, all females in the category, you might as well not put out a record because they're just going to give
definitely gonna have that,
the Grammys to
Adele.
Adele.
Units.
So
jump in on the part about we were talking about with the distinction, because I think this shit is blurry. Like
distinction as far as
in terms of R&B versus like him winning the R&B. Like I think that shit would have happened.
It's not an R&B album.
I mean, you're
right.
It's
an emo album, if anything, and we've talked about that as well. It is not an R&B album.
I know it's not. I'm just saying I don't think the the distinction is clear cut as we think it is when people start looking at some of these awards, because some of the stuff that I hear is like, I'm like, that's not rap. It's not.
Who is the ones that are voting on
That's
this?
a good
because
question.
that kind of goes back to even in politics,
Right.
that you have a lot of the older people
that's
making these
in
decisions.
the Grammys, yeah. But
that's a good point.
But for the AMAs, like, how did you even put this particular person in this category? Because as for all the because I'm sorry, I just couldn't get in the extension. Even after he died, and people were like, "Oh, you got to check it out." I was like, "I'm sorry, man, this just ain't me."
Right.
I didn't hear a lot of singing. I mean, not enough to qualify it as an R&B album.
Yeah, why wasn't Drake in that category?
I'm with you.
Or why has he ever been in that category? Like all this, then you have to start when there are mistakes like that made. Then you got to go back and see, like, well, who else maybe should have won if you're going to do that. But if you're not, like I said, this was everybody else in that category was clearly an R&B artist.
Mm-hmm.
They were people who sing, they don't rhyme.
Yeah.
You have not been hearing extension albums on the radio like you've heard SZA's. SZA's had at least 3 to 4 songs in rotation since her album came out.
I can't argue with that.
But that's also about, there's been a complete change in how people consume music.
Right.
Because it used to be, the radio used to be the conduit to you being a successful musical artist. There are people who never get played on the radio, who, when they tour, sell out wherever they go. Like,
that's a fact.
That's a fact.
So like somebody
That's
like, of course the Migos are all over the radio. Drake is, but Extension and like a lot of these other emo rappers,
Cult followings, man.
They have cult followings to where you look at their streaming, like, you don't hear what's the kid's name with the rainbow teeth? Tekashi. His records don't play on the radio. He's
always in the Billboard Top 100.
Yeah, but that's because there's such an emphasis on streaming now, which I think needs to be adjusted, because the Ellie Mae, because now there's they call it actual record sales, when people actually go out and buy your record.
Right.
But it's like Ellie Mae came in behind someone else who had fewer actual sales because the person had higher streaming numbers. So that pushed her debut lower, because I can't even remember the other person, because it's somebody that never gets played on the radio, but they have high streaming numbers. So there's going to be a constant evolution on how we are measuring the metrics, because at one point, Billboard didn't even take any of this into consideration.
Right.
Now it's like for every 1,500 streams, I guess that counts as a record sold.
Did y'all hear her album? I listened to it.
Yeah, I listened to it.
I checked it out. Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae's album with and I think Mustard did. That's his artist.
I know he did it. Her whole first.
Did he do
mixtape?
The first mixtape? Because I think he probably did. I want to say maybe 5 or 6 of the joints on this one. I think it's 10 or 11 joints. I didn't realize until I saw the Breakfast Club interview that she had her accent.
She's from the UK.
Yeah, I didn't know she's from the UK. Kind of sound like Marsha Ambrose, just kind of remind me of that.
It makes sense though, because like the UK are big on 90s R&B and hip hop and stuff. So you can hear that influence. That's the reason why Boo'd Up did so well, because to us it's very reminiscent to the 90s.
And another reason, it worked on every format. It worked on urban AC, and rhythmic. And so everybody liked that song.
I knew she had one when I started seeing remixes pop up. Fab, T-Pain, and it was like, man, everybody's trying to remix this record now. So
her new record on the radio is nice.
The one that Jacquees tried to sing over.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. And she talked about that too. She kind of, brushed that to the side, like, it's cool. Like, I'm not mad. It's it's all right. But it's dope to see her come out and actually have talent.
Yeah,
like, she's got skills. Like, the production was cool. It still had that sound. Like, his sound is not gonna go too far. I can tell somebody came in there and played some keys. Somebody else came in there and it gave it a pop/R&B type feel.
Like, it's a good R&B album, which are in short. I don't want to say in short supply, but honestly, they don't push R&B like they used to. It used to be a balance to where, okay, we're going to do some hip hop and it's going to be mostly R&B, and then it was like 50-50, and then like hip hop just took over to the point where like it was hard to even get an R&B record
all
played.
the R&B artists are trying to make hip hop albums. Like Usher just dropped an album that is produced all by Zaytoven.
And it sounds like it almost sounds like a rap like a rap EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Usher was one of those dudes that actually was staying to the core. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think R&B, I'm like, all right, Usher's gonna drop R&B. Tank is gonna drop R&B.
They're gonna give me those at least one really, powerful slow jam. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Now that type of record, man, is like Can You Stand the Rain? Those types of joints, non-existent. There's non-existent.
I will with the Daniel Caesars, with her, with the
Daniel Caesar's
there
dope.
is with
He's dope.
Like though there I see like because at one point I was like, what do young boys put on a slow jam tape? Or they probably don't have a slow
does that
jam
even
tape.
exist
Maybe
anymore?
they got a slow jam playlist. But like, what do young cats? Because I remember having my little tape in the car with my Boys II Men and Escape and Jodeci and
Masego is my new shit.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta. I'm asleep. I gotta get
That
on
shit's
that.
cold.
Yeah, girl, sit down to this little baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
While we
Like you in there,
Wham.
it's
bitch
like,
on the baby.
there
That
you
line
go.
is dope, by the way.
But-
I'm sorry.
because I was
I
like,
love that line.
like you just gonna play all this slow jam tape and it's got a whole bunch of cursing. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like
I'm
I
trying-
just
I'm
wondered
trying to
what
get-
the young cats used to what they did in this area.
How you doing?
I'm trying to get in the move. Throw some little pump on. What? Throw some
Hit it from the
Tekashi
back
6ix9ine
like, hey.
on.
Hit it from the back like,
Hey,
hey.
hey,
Hit it from the back like, hey. Hit
Hey.
it from the back like, hey.
hey.
That's
Hey.
considered romantic music. No, I mean, but
Terry, that's what the slow down tape sound like.
Yeah. And they might chop and screw it a little bit to slow it down.
so hopefully with the LA May and
Might like chop
some other folks that can kind of give people. I just want people to get that feeling back. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
it's not
That's a
too
good
much
feeling.
to ask. It's not
good
too much to
feeling.
ask.
Put on something for your lady. You know what
I
I'm saying?
wouldn't mind seeing a group come out where the whole group
Ain't no more groups.
has choreographed dances and
Hey,
shit.
Cost too much money to
if
do
they
that.
if they came out and they were cold, I would support everything they did just off the strength of having the choreography and having dope music. I
Gonna
would
be
take
a-
that and I rock with
You
it.
gonna be a B2K fan if they come back?
No,
But see, this is why we don't see groups anymore, because basically everyone who gets signed now almost has to be close to a finished product.
that's a
Because
fact.
these record companies are not trying to invest in any kind of like you gotta. They're not.
There's no.
They want it
artist
right
development.
now.
They don't
They don't want to
they're not-
develop.
The
it.
A&Rs no longer existed though. So
No,
now-
they exist.
They're
Y'all
there.
think it is?
Yeah,
no,
they're
because
there.
when New Edition went to
Oh, wow.
MCA,
Not the
they had
classic.
to hire somebody for vocal coaching,
Right.
choreography, wardrobe. People to write and produce the songs. Like somebody would have to show up as New Edition already.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
and
no
have-
artist development anymore.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and so it's too expensive to try to sign 5 dudes, get them all on or 4 dudes, whatever. Take it to the Boys II Men era. Have the songs ready for them. That's millions of dollars that record companies are no longer. They want you to have a hit song already, basically already have a video on YouTube, so they
Doing
can
numbers.
monetize it.
They'll pass over the guys that come into the office that are polished. We'll use New Edition as an example. They'll pass over the guys that come into the office that are that cold for the guy that has 1 million views on some dumb shit on YouTube,
yeah.
and they'll push him to the forefront.
Bad
Like
Baby.
it's not even
Example A.
Yeah,
example A, and
It
it's not
just-
even
it's everywhere.
close.
And they actually AR'd her because she doesn't rap.
Right.
They seen somebody had an image that was popping and decided, let's find somebody to write some rhymes for her.
Yeah.
Let her spit the rhymes. We got somebody to make some beats.
How
I
can
mean
we?
that, but to me that's
Send her on tour.
the
Record
epitome
companies-
of Cardi B.
No,
She's an entertainer. Like
but-
she don't rap.
But in a way, record companies they're like
It's
it's
shifted.
easier to monetize bad behavior
Facts.
than to go ahead and develop actual talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cardi B's a character. Like she's playing the character well. Like I'm talking about.
But I feel like
Beyonce
I
that's,
think that's just her.
that's who she is, though.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Because you didn't talk about debuts. Like, really, she put out 2 Gangsta Bitch Music 1 and 2.
She sure
I
did.
didn't hear those. I'm sorry.
She sure did.
I ain't hear those. I'm
So,
sorry.
I mean, that's kind of why I wasn't surprised when Cardi B hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was sleep. I ain't know about the love and hip hop and the vines and all that. I was
Yeah.
sleep on all that. So,
So, I wasn't.
I ain't saying she ain't work for it. I'm just saying, it's kind of like to me, she's an entertainer versus
She for
a rapper.
real started from the bottom.
no,
And now she's here.
Yeah.
Go get that
she's
bread.
out of here.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
the bag. I ain't mad at her for getting that bag.
She's actually
capitalizing
in
on
the
opportunity.
news now because she declined to perform at the Super Bowl.
Is that been confirmed or is that?
Has she straight up? I knew about Rihanna declining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I recently, actually, before we start shooting the show, I heard or read that too.
She was gonna rock with Maroon 5, right? as a feature or something?
I'm not sure.
Well, because
Okay.
she does have a record with them out. It's like the #1 record for them too.
I thought they
Yeah.
were gonna have a feature. I guess she was supposed to come out and do a feature with them, but I mean, if she wants to turn, they don't get paid for it, so I don't think she's been.
They get something.
They
no,
get-
a lot
they
of
get it
times
back?
they pay to.
I didn't think they
perform.
got a bag for it.
Oh, no,
They
that
did.
might be thinking about the Grammys because
They
anybody,
get something for it.
everybody who
Something.
performs on the Grammys. That's why a lot of times they give those artists the awards because you have to pay to perform on the Grammys.
Oh,
For real?
Oh yeah,
you got to cut the check.
you got to
perform,
anytime, even on MTV Awards. Anytime you see people perform on an award show, you got to come off some money.
That's mad
that's-
exposure.
that's-
though.
That's next level play
That's
to play.
Yeah.
that's considered promotion for your project.
That's
So
true.
that's built into your budget to perform on these award shows.
Well, all right.
Well, you got to get that bag.
There's got to be a silver
Seems
lining in there
counterintuitive.
somewhere. Yeah, there's got to be a silver lining in there somewhere where they want you to come perform on their show, so they're
Right.
not going to charge you.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it costs for a ticket to go to the Grammys.
yeah, I mean,
Even the
But-
people that get invited, you still have to pay to go.
oh yeah, it's like $900 a seat. Like
It's
you
like-
just don't. Even if you
It's
are,
like when I see the invites, I'm like, oh, that's nice. I know you paid for the seat.
yeah, it's not. You don't go to the Grammys for free, But there's a lot of just like when you start to really find out about the music industry and you start to really, it's like when you pull the curtain back and you see Richard Pryor, like from The Wiz, and he's not really Oz,
Yeah.
and you find out what really goes on. You're like, oh, okay, well that's why that is the way it is. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's disappointing, like because from that time I worked in radio. I remember like someone telling me back in the day, oh, I want to work in radio. Just like you doing right now, because I love music. I always tell people, look, get in the radio because you love radio.
Yeah.
Don't get in the radio because you love music because it will break your heart.
Man, spoken from experience.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like I was lucky. I loved the art of radio, but I did not love listening to the same song every hour and 15 minutes.
And again,
I'm not mad at that.
y'all remember when at the Grammys, matter of fact, when Outkast won Album of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and when Drake came and said for the last time, pretty much he didn't want to perform the song.
Oh yeah, he was like,
yeah.
no, I remember. No, I think that was at
It
the
was
MTV
hate.
Awards. No,
Was it?
No,
Oh,
it
wasn't
was.
it Grammys?
Yeah, he was like one more. He was like one more time. Hey, y'all, goddammit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was sick of that song,
Hey,
It's
that
like-
album went diamond, bro.
That
but
reminds
it was
me.
counted as 2 every time they sold it.
That reminds me of
Man.
when Clarence and I first put out our first album, 11 piece.
Mm-hmm.
We had this song on there called "Hey."
Love that joint.
Everybody loves that song.
That joint is so
We made that
original.
song in like 30 minutes, and it was just kind of a spoof of a song. But we did it. We did it at the.
And that's what people wind up loving.
we did at the Jay Brookins Heavy Gun Battle.
No, I
one year.
remember that.
And people loved it, and we kept doing it, and people
That
would
was
come
one of my
to see
favorite
it.
joints y'all had.
It was not hip hop at all.
Clarence
Not
hit that
even
high
close.
note.
Yeah, I
Clarence
went.
in the high notes.
Clarence was in
that's-
his bag. He had the hand motion. Yeah, he had to
He
take
took
the mic away from
Yeah.
Yeah,
him.
he took it to church. Real
I had to
quick,
tell. I have to consistently tell him, like, you still got to put the mic up to your mouth because people can't hear you in the back. But yeah,
Yeah, that squeal is legendary.
The grits hand.
The grits hand is legendary. Do we got anything popping? Anybody doing anything coming up? I don't want to miss. Well, before we get ready to wrap up, got a couple minutes here.
Okay.
Jay Moore, do you think? I know you're gonna be out here in
All
these
right.
streets.
Go ahead and let you know. Of course,
Lots of things going
this
on.
Thursday, going to be at Tiki Bob's with Lemmy Vice and DJ 𝗀𝗱𝗀. So we're going to be holding it down. In fact, that's going to be a Halloween celebration we're going to do there.
This week.
That'll be
yes.
tonight.
It'll be tonight because by the time it's next Thursday, it'll be November. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be at Human Mario Kart at Circle City Industrial Complex. So I'm going to be on the microphone doing my race commentary. That'll be the first time.
Are you
I do
going to
that.
dress up?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking
I
about
kind of want to do that.
it. Yeah.
I kind of want to do that too. Like,
Yeah, Mike had talked
Yeah.
about.
We talked about possibly
Doing
doing
something
that.
like-
shout out to
Yeah.
Red August.
So, but on that same day, so that's going to be during the day. But that night, I'm going to be at the Jazz Kitchen for the Old Soul Entertainment costume party, and that's
Yep.
in conjunction with the Black Firefighters Association
Nice.
right here in Indianapolis. So it's going to be a fundraiser, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So get involved with that.
Fun.
And of
fun.
course, next Tuesday we'll be right back like we are every Tuesday at Coach's Tavern.
Atmosphere is going to be in town.
Friday.
Yes.
Friday. That's going down.
High five.
No, that's actually going to be the Vogue.
Vogue. Okay.
Vogue.
Word.
I think Terry and I are going to Selection on Thursday night in Chicago.
Oh, you balling?
We didn't hire movers.
Oh.
Hit the fuck shit bill on that.
Hey man, I got a discount. We got a discount. I'm not gonna do it again now that I know I have great friends that'll move during the middle of the week.
Oh, discount double check ass.
Yeah, shout out to 𝐀𝐻. I think that's all. You don't have anything with the Arkenstone around your neck?
With the what?
It's called the Arkenstone from
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, yeah,
No.
that's what that is.
No.
I like the Arkenstone.
Thank
You think
you.
I'm trying to clown?
No,
I like
don't.
the Arkenstone.
I don't honestly, but
Yeah, it's
you.
that's fresh.
Thank you.
It's the Arkenstone. Do you have anything popping? Anything coming up?
Nah, man, just
I know you be out in these
Printfinity
streets.
and going to Chicago Thursday.
Word.
So.
All right, that's gonna
Or
wrap.
today, actually. So.
Well, I mean, we can wrap it up. That's episode 104. Make sure that you guys check us out on the Patreon website /NewOldHeads. We actually I think we've gained maybe a couple new patrons in the last
Couple
maybe?
upgrades.
Couple upgrades. Yeah.
Okay, so having some fun in there. We got some more things that we're thinking about doing. So
See those great indie CD and vinyl gift baskets, man.
yes, shout out to Indie CD and Vinyl. They are a new sponsor of ours, partner of ours. Coleman Dental, Dr. Coleman, 317-255-8546. Make sure you keep your teeth is right. Printfinity, as always. Support your local businesses. And
Indeed.
Bringing Down the Band is the hub, as always. We distribute dopeness. And we will see y'all next week.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. You know
The
what it is.
Arkenstone.
Oh,
And if it's a
yeah.
backpack, rock a Jan Sport.